Hey folks, we are back with another 5 by 5. These are 5 topics in about 5 minutes for the week of January 22nd, 2018. And let's get started with number 1. E-A-G-L-E-S. I'm not a football fan, or, hand egg as it's sometimes called. I mean, I like Philadelphia, I like Eagles, but football, not so much. There was a time in my life when I was kind of excited about football, and then that time went away, and it's kind of like Game of Thrones. You start watching, the gore is a bit over the top, but the nudity is cool. The characters are all deep and complex, and you have this constant tension and paranoia, and you're like, wow, how's this going to turn out? You have all these amazing characters that you love, and you're so sure they're going to have some spectacular story arc. But then you start finding out that most of them are actually dark, toxic people, and you start to wonder if anyone in Westeros really knows what it's like to make a good decision that doesn't immediately lead to their death or the deaths of other characters that you like, until eventually your favorite character is killed or horribly maimed, and you're like, well great, now I have to find another favorite character. You know what? I'm good. So you take a little break from one season to the next, and the show comes back on, and you're watching it, and you're like, who the hell is this? Who's this guy? Why is he important? Where'd he come from? He was like a bit character, right? I don't remember him. Why is he back? What is he doing now? Oh, and now my new favorite character is dead. Awesome. So that's kind of how I feel about football. Meanwhile, I've got image city workers greasing up the poles in Philadelphia to dissuade folks from climbing them. That image is never going to leave my mind. And worse yet, the Crisco, it didn't stop anyone. It didn't do a damn thing. They climbed those poles regardless. So thank you, Philadelphia police, for making greased poles a phrase that I was repeating basically all day long. And for once, I wasn't conjuring up images of gay porn. The other story that has dominated my newsfeed this week has to be the government shutdown. OMG, the government shutdown. Will we still get mail? Are emergency services going to work? Is Trump going to take another trip to go golfing and then blame the whole thing on the left, while other ostensibly more responsible adults clean up the mess? Yeah, pretty much. Here's the thing. I really cannot understand any of what's happening without building up into a frothy rage and a smug sense of superiority. I'm that kid who's like, I told you so. I knew this was gonna happen. Do you realize how tired I am of being right? So I kind of just bury my head in the sand, which is like exactly what they want. They want us to just give up. And I'm like, ignorance just looks so peaceful right about now. After months and months of bullshit designed to target and eliminate me and everyone like me, scapegoating us and demonizing us over and over, painting us to be monsters and making our lives impossible with bathroom laws and religious freedom and on and on. Can you blame me? I am tired. But then that little voice in the back of my head speaks up and says, don't you think they were tired? And I think of all of those people who are my heroes and how they changed the world and how poor and broken and held back they were and how they kept fighting anyway. And in many cases, how terrible price they paid ultimately. And I think, can I really afford to be tired? I feel like there's another Game of Thrones analogy in here somewhere. Let's just move on. Since we've already breached the topic of politics, well, let's roll with it. On Saturday, January 20th, the Second Women's March took place on the anniversary of the 2017 Women's March. This was a reprise protest march that was coordinated with protests being held in hundreds of cities in the United States. This global protest also took place in Canada, the UK, Japan, Italy, and many other countries. Some of the largest rallies in the United States were held in New York, Washington, D.C., LA, Dallas, Philly, Chicago, San Francisco, Atlanta. I'm totally not reading this off a list. And of course, Donald Trump took credit for the whole thing, which is actually sort of correct. Good job, buddy. You got hundreds and thousands of women around the world to march in defiance of you being a giant orange shit-eating troll. You really are a special kind of idiot. Now more than ever is the most important time to march. But I'm just finding it extremely difficult to get up the resources needed to get out there with my sisters and make it happen. even so, I stand behind them 100%. From trans family, for women of color, and so many others who inspire me and get me fired up. Thank you so much for keeping up the good fight. Thank you. Okay, so let's get off politics. Let's talk about Tide Pods instead, because everywhere I go, it's all about Tide Pods. Tide Pods all day, Tide Pods all night, nothing but Tide Pods, Tide Pods, Tide Pods, greased poles, Tide Pods. The Tide Pod Challenge has got to be the stupidest and most obviously made up bullshit in the history of ever. Nothing is this stupid and not obviously a joke. Like Jenkum, people huffing or smoking Jenkum. Google that sometime. Look that up and tell me this doesn't bear close resemblance. And the worst part is, Tide Pods have been out for 5 years at least, if I recall. And it seems to me like, it seems odd that this is just now becoming a huge epidemic. And I feel like the only reason that this is happening is because of idiots on Facebook who aren't letting the story go. Me included now. Now I'm in on this. You see what's happening here? Because everyone keeps talking about it, it became popular. And now that it's huge, and where there wasn't really a problem, now there's a problem. Unfortunately, yes, there was a problem back around 2012 with children ages 5 and under who were in fact chewing on the things and ingesting them. But now it's like adults are doing this? Adults are finding them pretty and attractive, and they smell nice. The fruity notes and the pretty colors, everything about these things are sending signals to your brain to tell it this is a pleasurable substance, when in actuality, it's a little plastic baggie filled with poison. But, you know, memes are the reason Tide Pods will likely be taken off the market. Memes are the downfall of Tide Pods. And, you know, I mean, I say any of this as if I care. Like, I go to the laundromat on Mondays because that's free detergent day, and I don't even use Tide Pods. So what do I care? Let's move on. Lastly, wrapping up today's 5x5, can you believe I still haven't seen The Last Jedi? I haven't even seen the edit that cuts out all the women. I'm so bad at nerding. Well, speaking of that no women's allowed version of The Last Jedi, Twitter user Logan James, that's @LoganJames, decided to respond to the 45-minute edit of The Last Jedi with a man-free version of Saving Private Ryan. The entire movie now lasts approximately 2 minutes and 20 seconds, featuring mostly B-roll footage of crosses, rain, and dour-looking women who, of course, don't speak a word of dialogue. And that itself is kind of amazing when you think about it, because by not talking about men, this edit actually passes the Bechdel test, and yet it still fails so miserably. And then, I don't know, just for shits and giggles, Logan James then created a similar edit of The Shawshank Redemption, which clocks in at 1.5 minutes. It's like 1:37. God bless the internet. And on that note, this 5x5 is over. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, and please check out the other 5x5 videos in the playlist. Also, check me out on Fiverr if you'd like me to produce some royalty-free background music for you. The packages start at $5, and I have a turnaround time of about 2 days. Just think, for $5 you can have your own custom background music in less than 2 days. Or you can get your name in the credits of my videos for the same amount of only $5. It's easy to get signed up, and every little donation helps me out immensely. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a great day. Subscribe for more and keep skating.